Good morning, Coastal friends and family. It's Greg Meerbaum giving you your Q4 report to close out 2024. Before I get going on everything that we've accomplished in 2024 and that we're excited about for 25, first and foremost, just want to thank everybody who, obviously all our clients, all of our partners, sponsors, construction team, site work guys, acquisitions teams, securities people, attorneys, accountants. I mean, the list goes on forever. There's a lot of people that make this machine go every day at a lot of different organizations. And so just from the bottom of my heart, everybody here at Coastal, I wanted to thank you guys for another awesome year. You know, these next couple years ahead of us now that some things are starting to change in the market and potentially look a lot better than it did even in the last 36 months. Super exciting. And so just want to thank everybody for the support and the trust, and hopefully we'll be reporting some great news over the next 6 to 12 months, because there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. To do a quick recap on 2024, obviously did a number of new asset classes that we loved. Everybody already knows about Lynx, our car wash brand. One I haven't talked enough about is probably Fresh Stop. For those of you that have participated in some of the gas station stuff and C-store stuff that we've done over the years, a lot of the tax tools, Fresh Stop, we're going to absolutely explode over the next 5 years, which will be our convenience store brand. So super excited about that. Obviously, we did our first assisted living deal with Empire out in Scottsdale. That's an asset class you'll probably see more and more from us. We've done now a handful of these build-for-rent communities with Madison, with Empire, with Millgreen. That'll continue as that asset class continues to explode. And I'm sure it's probably becoming something a lot more you are hearing more and more about. So we'll certainly start, putting our foot down on the gas on that asset class. Probably my favorite thing we did this year was the pre-IPO with Equipment Share. To kind of potentially report some good news a little early for those of you that were investors in the secondary stock that we did. We do think there's going to be a liquidity event this upcoming year, potentially pretty early in the year, that looks pretty promising. Obviously, with a new president in the White House, the public markets have kind of lit on fire, as most of you know, the last 30, 60 days. And so any company that's looking at potentially IPOing, that's certainly something they're keeping an eye on. So the timing might have just worked out really well for us. No promises, but we feel really good and really confident that that'll be some exciting news to report early in 25, hopefully. The industrial deal that we did with Sealy, that one's still open. Obviously an asset class that's pretty bulletproof and continues to explode with the last mile industrial stuff. So a lot of new asset classes that we hadn't done in previous years. For us and our internal team, we're always kind of looking at stuff that we know people want to get money into, but just don't ever get that access. And so we did a really great job finding some great, operators to partner with, and super pumped about the way all that kind of played out over this last year, because that's a lot of new stuff to juggle. And I think we did a great job. So maybe a couple deals selling early to mid in 2025. Obviously, for us, some of the projects like Ruskin, Pensacola, Hampton Storage, some of the stuff that's, pretty much through, the first 50% or so of getting stabilized are assets that we're going to start considering to sell. We'll keep an eye on interest rates and try to time the market, obviously, like we always do, to make us and the investors as much as possible. But those would be a couple assets to keep an eye on. My hopes are that through the course of 2025, plus a couple Millgreen deals that maybe we sell, 6-7 deals next year, meaning go full cycle. So that would be super exciting because 26 and 27 actually look even better for what some of this multifamily stuff could potentially yield. For anyone tracking the statistics and kind of watching how much of a shortage we're going to have of new apartments hitting the market, a lot of people would say we're in a really, really good position. Some have even called it the next golden age of multifamily in the Southeast over the next 5 years. So love hearing that stuff. All right, well, that's pretty much everything in 5 minutes to talk about for 2024. 2025, a lot of cool stuff that we are just finalizing. So have a couple recap opportunities for those who don't really know what that means. Basically, there are deals not only in real estate but in private equity or in existing businesses where we can kind of go in and push out older investors that want out of a certain deal for whatever reason. Sometimes, companies get over leveraged, they do things they shouldn't, and it creates opportunity, right? And that happens in businesses and in real estate. And so we've got a couple of those that we really, really like. One in particular, which will be our Foundry deal in Charleston. Foundry is a Class A+ asset, built 2020, late 2021 vintage. So literally a brand new asset in downtown Charleston that if you drove by, you'd be like, man, that's one of the nicest buildings in the state. And so and it's fully stabilized. So we'll have an opportunity to do something there that we're already working on for early part of 2025 that you guys will see come live onto the portal. Data centers, got a couple of those that we're hopefully going to finalize, not only just data centers, but data center kind of trader businesses that work in conjunction with them. So some stuff that our team's spending a lot of time on to hopefully strike gold on one, because they're really hard to break into. The barrier for entry is probably the hardest of any asset class that we've dealt with since I've been doing this stuff. So something exciting to keep your eyes on. Obviously, our car wash brand, Lynx, has been doing extremely well. The stores that we've taken over and are operating are up 20+% month over month. So, kudos to our team that's operating it and the guys at Madison and Lynx internal team. So excited to see how that continues to grow through 2025 and beyond. Just a couple things that you've probably noticed, hopefully we're doing a better job on the communication side. It's probably mostly my fault just because, we get busy over here and it's hard to call every investor every day and update people on every single nook and cranny that happens within our building. But our investor relations team that we really beefed up this year has done a wonderful job, I think, getting just more touch points over to people, more info faster. And we want that to increase as we scale up to thousands and thousands of investors. So really happy about how that's all played out. Juniper Square. So technology-wise, because I'm a caveman and I don't need big fancy charts and graphs. Early on when we started Coastal, we created what we felt like was a quality dashboard. Obviously, we've got some very sophisticated investors who have high expectations. I won't call them bougie, but you could, and all want the highest quality tech behind the scenes. And so we heard you loud and clear. We've gone out and spent a ton of money to get paired up with Juniper Square that'll now be handling our whole back end software application data. I mean, everything from the portal soup to nuts. So it's going to go from like us driving an old Honda to brand new Ferrari. So hopefully everybody appreciates that, and it makes life easier for us and the investors going forward, because ultimately that's what all this stuff about is, just clear communication, transparency, and just having things available when you guys need them or want them, and not having to wait a lot of to get answers. So very excited about that. And outside of that, I think that in 10 minutes, that's pretty much everything that we've finished for last year and going into this year. So again, just wanted to wish everybody a wonderful holiday season, whether you've got your Christmas tree up, your menorah, or whatever other stuff everybody's using at home. Just wanted to thank everybody again from myself and the entire Coastal team, all our partners, all our advisors. None of this happens without you guys. And so truly, truly grateful, and can't wait to talk to everybody in 2025.